is the case. That's the outcome for the futures. Beyond that, not really pricing in coming back into 4200. Yeah, I know, I know. Yeah, yeah. Some issues with the library books or whatnot. Anyway, so the futures, my expectation for it to come down and hit the mean on the 1 hour, 42.19, perhaps. I mean, there's a very good chance it will pierce through that and push into 42.13 and probably try this 50 moving average about 42.11. Most likely, just because the number came in bad, I'm expecting it to push back down into probably 4200, somewhere around this number. That's what my expectations current. And this is the chart I operate on. Rather, this is the chart I follow, and of course, I operate on lower time frame, 5 and 15 minutes. That's how I go about things. Yeah, this has to, the 4 hour chart is not really giving a clear direction of things right here. A 4 hour chart is still pointing to the upside. Most likely, it is still looking at 4300, and that is possible. That is possible if Apple starts to push higher, and most likely, Apple should not have gone that high, that fast. It cleared about 160, 60 or something like that, and came right back in. That should not have happened. Had Apple, stayed back and started to push after the markets open, that would have been a different story. But it is what it is. It pushed up, it came right back inside. And to the downside, beyond of that 4200 number, again, it starts to push down, and this is the number we are looking for again, 4160, and push below that would put us again at probably this number, 4100 right here, the lows from the February lows. So if it starts to push down, if it breaks 4160, then we are looking for a push into this number, 4100. I don't believe it's going to stop at 4130 now. But so this is how I want to proceed. Again, the numbers from yesterday stay intact. 4160 base case to the downside, and a good to have would be 4130. And if that breaks, we are looking for 4100. Right now, not really plotting anything below that, but that's the that's the scenario to the downside. To the upside, base case is this line right here, 4250. This is the base case to the upside from where it would open. Yesterday, the futures were not this high, so we were looking for 4220 as our base case and push into 4250 as good to have. Right now, where we would open, base case to the upside is 4250, and if it starts to push, we're looking for a push into 43. Where is that number? Right about here. So 4380 to, sorry, 4280 to 4300. This is I'm assuming, I want to say that this should be good to have to the upside, but looking for a push of this number as a base case, 4250. 4250 is the base case. And a good to have above that would be 4280. Above that would be 4300. That's how I'm going to proceed to the upside. And that being said, VIX, I was looking for VIX to come back into this number yesterday, and that happened, and we got some more room down here to go. But with the GDP numbers coming in, well, we knew that GDP was going to come in, in a contraction mode, and that's what is recession typically is. But well, mainstream media would want to tell you whatever they want to tell you, but yada yada yada. But that is the practical, that when you have the economy shrinking, from that's a sign that the recession, the real recession, is actually here. Doesn't matter what the theoretical part of recession says, but in reality it is actually here. GDP numbers show that. But besides that, this is if I go by technicals, and the VIX starts to keep pushing down, this is where it is headed, most likely 2877. If that breaks, we are looking for a push into 2773, and probably around 2751. So this is the path to the downside for VIX. As of now, where things stand, I am not really looking for a push into 27 or something. But ideally, this is how it should happen. This is where 2877. This is where I'm expecting a bounce. Uh, Now that bounce could be ephemeral or might not be ephemeral, depending on what the market is expecting out of Apple. And today is Apple, basically. Today is Apple, Apple, Apple. If Apple pushes up, market pushes up. If people say Apple is not going to perform well during their earnings, market will come back down. There's no other catalyst for the markets today. So VIX, this is obviously the chart that I'm watching for VIX. 1 hour chart, kind of getting oversold, pushing into its resistance. And per the 1 hour chart, what we know, it comes back, gets overbought, gets oversold, pushes into 5, pushes into 8, pushes into 21, pushes into its mean. 3056 to the upside is my base case for me, base case for VIX. And we will reassess the situation after this. And if Apple starts a push, and then most likely VIX will not have enough, uh, you know, at least today, VIX call buying might likely slow down because what happened last evening, we all know. So with Facebook, whatever that happened, if tech catches fire just like it did last evening on Facebook, I don't know why. I still don't know why it did that. The numbers are still bad, right? The numbers are still bad. The projection for the Q2 is still soft. So still, I think that was short covering rally, and expecting Facebook to actually come back down if it hadn't already come back down. So this is that's for the phase. That's for VIX and Facebook. Where is Facebook? This is Facebook. Right. So you have another chart that I want you guys to see. Oh no, no, this one. This one? Nope, neither of those. Give me a second. This is what Ed asked me to look for, and back in the daily chart. So this is how it actually looks. These are support and resistance levels, and the chart that I follow, of course, is this one, 1 hour chart. And per 1 hour chart, this is the support and resistance. And right here, it will run up into its resistance. And there's a There's quite a bit of resistance here as well, but there's no support here, right? So if it starts to push down, there's no real support for it till 185, according to these charts. So I'll keep an eye on this, and of course, we have our own charts. And for 1 hour, Facebook, and here is the support 197. Look for a bounce around this number, and probably most likely that would be an ephemeral bounce, and I'm looking for a break below that and push into 189 and most likely into 184. This is how I want to see it. But again, things being the way they are, any I don't know, any bit of good news. I want to say good news. I don't know. I don't know what's the word for that. But anything that says uh, the revenue, or I don't know, they've missed on revenue big time. They just barely work up on their top line, and the bottom line they missed. So take it as you will. So technicals are telling you that it's going to come back down into this number and probably look for a bounce. If it doesn't bounce, it'll start to push down into 189 and then into 184. But as of now, not really looking to short this thing as of now, because we have again Amazon and Apple on deck, so not really looking to short that thing yet. Okay, and the 10-year is not doing anything other than what was expected out of 10-year. Right here, it came back here, hit this number and pushed up. So I'm expecting a hit of that number again. Most likely, uh, I don't know now the expectations from the Fed, from what Al posted. They're looking for 1 bip, not 1 bip. They're looking for 1 percentage point. Al, is that it? 0.75 bips to 1% point. Right. So I think the chart that Al posted, May 4th expectation, I think, now are 0.75 to 1%. So I don't believe that 1% is doable as is where the economy is. 1% would mean some serious damage. 1% would do some serious damage. So not really expecting 1 percentage point on 10-year, or rather the economy as a whole. Yeah, so predictions are showing up 75 bips, but I don't know the market is. Yeah, I don't believe 75% or 1 percentage point. That would be way too much to handle. The sudden evaporation of liquidity in the um markets will not take it that well. That's my expectation. If actually that happens, 50 bips, I think market has priced in 50 bips. But anything beyond that, I think there will be a markets will show temper. That's my expectation, at least in the short term. That might change if what if what if the Fed comes back in and says, and we are not because because the GDP has shrunk. We are not gonna let we are going with 25 bips instead of 50 bips. Then what, right? So that's another equation that that's another part of equation that that you need to keep in mind, that 25 bips is, well, not really. Again, we will talk about that during probably in the nightly charting session, because it's a conundrum right now. That's the word, I guess. If they say we are raising 25 bips, then there's something wrong with the economy, which it is wrong. There's something wrong with the economy. But then that doesn't sound good. But anyways, we'll discuss that sometime later. Tesla. This is so on any. push down, Tesla will test. Where is the Tesla numbers? This is the daily, where's the weekly? On any market push down, on any slowdown for the markets, Tesla will push into this number 864, then push into 854. Of course, it has to break yesterday's lows around 857 or 877. Yeah, 877 or something. And if it breaks there, we are looking for a push into 861 and then 850. On any slowdown in the market, Tesla will be the prime victim. Most likely, that is the case with Tesla. And of course, not going by the weekly chart, I'll again play it here. 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart doesn't really is not really doing much. I'm expecting a push again into this number 906. Test that number and fail. And if it breaks above there, we're looking for a push into 914. Again, if that breaks, we are looking for 935, of course. So where is that number coming from? Right about here, 935. So this chart is still showing as overbought, oversold. So the base case would be right about here, 907 something. If that breaks, and look for a push into 936. Where is the 1 hour chart? 1 hour chart right here. So this should be the base case. And if that breaks, 914 would be the next level to watch. And good to have would be 935. If it breaks 935, then we'll reassess the situation and look for a push into 961. As of now, not really pricing that in. As of now, I think the pressure is still to the downside, but 930s will act, 930 to 935 will act as some solid resistance here. If that clears, then we can look for a push above into 950s and 960s. But for now, nothing plotting, nothing beyond 935. To the downside, 900 will act as solid support here. When I say 900, it doesn't mean to a T. Probably around 895 to 900 range will act as solid resistance support because it has a 200-day moving average. Should that break, we are looking for lows of yesterday, 877 or something. Should that break, we are looking for a push into this number here, 864 to 850. That's for Tesla. Amazon, not really plotting anything right now, but looking to play Amazon IV. So whichever way Amazon breaks, so let's say but I think on any miss from Amazon, it will head into this number, 2530. Pretty much this number is guaranteed now. Any miss on Amazon side, which most likely will be a miss, it is heading into this number 2530. So I will be looking to buy, and I'm not playing earnings by I don't really like to play earnings because of unknown and because it's a big ticket item number. So if I'm wrong about earnings, I'll end up losing quite a bit of my capital on that. So don't want to do that. I'll just simply play IV, and I want to get out of that. And the way I want to play IV right now is uh, so on my 1 hour chart, the direction it would pick is most likely it's going to go hit this number, not 2855. If it hadn't done that already, most likely that's the case. Then push down. So base case to the upside is there's 2854. It's almost there. I think it will test that number again right at the open. If that clears, then we're looking for a push into 2893. Let's see how it happens there. And these conditions are still oversold here. So I'm still looking for a push above here. But this could change. The GDP came in again, the way it came in. But if Apple rallies, it will take along Amazon with it. And if everything goes fine, we are still looking for a push into 2893 to 329, 2900. So that's what we're looking for. I will play IV onto this, and this has already ran up 2 percentage points. So I don't know how much of an upside is left to this. Uh, yeah. And base case to the downside, to the upside is about. So let's say if earnings come in good, I think it should hit 3,000. And once it clears 3,000, probably it should start to push into 3042. And the mean is sitting at 3,100. So to the upside, there is a good bit of room to the upside as well, just because it is getting overbought, oversold here. So if the earnings come in good, any good, it will start to push into these numbers, all these numbers. Probably, this is where it is headed, 3085 or something. So good 300 points to the up. 300, maybe that would be a stretch, but at least 150 points. Oh, this is already ran up. So uh, after, let's say if the earnings come in good right now where it is at, then I'm expecting a push into 3,000, 150 points to the upside. And if the numbers come in even slightly worse than expected, 2532. This is where it is headed. That's how I want to play that. Yeah, definitely. I'll be looking to play Apple today, and we know how Apple works. So this is the number that everybody is watching for Apple, and it starts to push above that, then it looks bullish, and most likely it will be capped around here, 161.90. My expectation is still that I don't want to be shorting Apple. Earnings coming up, that's the reason I don't want to be shorting Apple. This will act as major resistance. To clear above here, we'll start to look to push it to 160 and then 161.97. That's my expectation. This zone right here should act as some solid resistance. And anything above that, we're looking for a push into 162.80. Again, this should not have pushed so hard, just because Facebook came in better than EPS. Facebook EPS came in better than expected, and uh, just based on that, it should not have happened. This was pretty much a short covering rally, but if the rally continues, I'm looking at Apple at 161.30 as my right about here as my 160.60 as my base case, and the good to have would be 161.30. If that clears, we are looking for 162.72. But what if Apple misses? Clear shot to this number, 154.75. Uh, and if Apple misses, I believe it will break that number through and it will push into 151 or 152. This is pretty much guaranteed for Apple if it misses. Then I think ephemeral bounce here, and after that, I believe it will push into this number. If Apple misses, let's say if Apple misses, then 154, and Apple and Amazon misses, it will push into 152, and probably later on, it will start to slide into this number right here, 143, 142 number. So let's see how it goes from here. And I'll be watching this chart, 1 hour chart. This is my bread and butter. And push above 160.26. It will put right here. And if it's a trend day, if the trend continues to the upside, and obviously this is the chart that I'll be looking to trade on. If it bounces in the mean and starts to push back up from the mean, and I'll look for a hit of this number, 160.90, 161. This would be a clear shot. If it bounces from here, it would be a clear shot to 161. So let's see how that goes. And that is all from my side. 3 minutes to open. Anybody has anything they want to share? SPX, sorry. I forget that. Right, so SPX, I'm going to open my charts. Right, so this is a SPX 1 hour chart. SPX should have been trading around 440. What is this number? 420. So 4220, 42 to 4220 to 4230 range. It should be trading there if it were to open, which was about right here at the mean. This is where it should be trading right now. So if it starts to push above them, and that was the base case basically. Yeah, last night if where it closed, this was the base case, and then if it clears there, we were looking for 4250, and that 4250 still remains intact. But we would be opening a little higher, so the base case would be already hit. But then if it's already hit, then there's no point of being a base case. So the base case to the upside would be 4250 now, and that number is coming from here. Where are the 4-hour charts? Right. So this is the number, right? So this should have been the base case, 4220, and above that, this is where now the base case would be 4250. And if we clear that, then we are looking for a push into most likely, about here, 43. And that number should be coming from here, 4314. So that's what we're looking for. This is a good to have. And if the rally picks up, which I don't know for whatever reason, I don't know why would the rally pick up, but if the rally picks up, then we are looking for a push into 4350. Not really plotting anything beyond that. But again, the numbers come in good tonight from Amazon and Apple. We are looking for a push into 4384. Pretty much this will happen like in a snap if both the numbers come in good. Markets are open, by the way.